You are not 12. You don't want to play Twinkle Twinkle or spend months drilling scales. But maybe you've wondered, is it too late for me to finally learn piano? You're not alone. Most adults think piano is something you had to start as a kid, with years of reading sheet music and practicing songs you don't even like. But what if that whole idea was completely wrong? In this video, I'm going to show you a better way, the method real adults are using to finally play the songs they love without following the rigid traditional path designed for 7-year-olds. If you've ever felt like you missed your chance, I promise you haven't. About a decade ago, I started my own music school and I was teaching lots of private piano lessons to adults. Back then, I taught adult beginners the traditional way. Method books, note reading, and scales. I was told to teach this way when getting my piano degree in college, and for a long time, I believed it was the only way. But something wasn't clicking. The students weren't excited, they weren't practicing, and worst of all, they were quitting. These were smart, capable adults who wanted to learn, but the method wasn't made for them. It was built for kids, slow, rigid, full of children's songs like hot cross buns. But most adults simply don't want to spend months reading every single note before they can play something they love. Over the years, I started taking them down a different path, one that skips the fluff and focuses on playing real music sooner. With this new approach, everything changed. One of my students, Nick, started from scratch and quickly started picking up his favorite songs in retirement. Another one of my students, Felix, also picked up piano in retirement totally from scratch and achieved his goal of playing piano with the church band. I've watched hundreds of adult students thrive using this method because once you throw out the rule book made for 7-year-olds, everything opens up. So before we dive in, I've put together a powerful resource for you. It's called the Piano Practice Planner. It'll show you exactly what to practice each day so you can start playing your favorite songs in just 1 week. Comment Practice Planner below and I'll send it to you for free. This is the perfect first step to fast track your progress, so make sure you grab it before we get into the good stuff. So is it too late to learn piano? No, but if you try to learn the traditional way, it's going to feel like it is. Because the truth is, the way most adults are taught piano today is almost designed to make them quit. Here's what I mean. When adults walk into their first lesson, they're handed a method book, told to read every note on the staff, tap rhythms, curve their fingers, use both hands all at once, and somehow play music. And for a kid, that kind of slow buildup might work because they're in learning mode already. They're learning language, learning to read, learning fine motor skills. It all fits. But for an adult, it feels like a long, never-ending road to nowhere. So it's no wonder so many people quit. They're spending months trying to decode notes before they ever get to play something they enjoy. And it doesn't feel musical. It feels like schoolwork. It's frustrating, it's slow, and it robs people of the joy they came for in the first place. So if you've ever tried to learn piano and thought, maybe it's just too late for me, it's not you, it's the method. So what does work? What is the right approach, especially if you're an adult learning later in life? Well, the first thing to understand is this. Most adults don't want to become concert pianists. They want to play music they love, to unwind, to be creative, to play for their friends, their grandkids, or just for themselves at the end of a long day. And unlike kids, adults have less time and a whole lot more competing for their attention. That's why the method I use now is completely different. Instead of starting with note reading and children's songs, we start with chords. Why? Because chords are the foundation of almost every song you love. Whether you're watching a band, singing along at church, or listening to your favorite playlist, you're hearing chords. And when you learn chords first, you don't have to wait months to play something that sounds good. You're instantly starting to play real songs without needing to read music yet. It's way less overwhelming for the brain. It's easier for your hands. And it sounds like music from the very beginning. If you ever thought, I just want to sit down and play something real, let me show you how quickly that can happen. Do you know this song? That's Lean on Me by Bill Withers, and I just played chords, that's it. Let me take you into the chorus and break it down. Here are the chords on screen. And this is how I'd play it from a chord chart, which is what all bands use, by the way. It's not some beginner trick, this is how music actually works. See how I wasn't reading every single note? I was following the chords and it still sounds great. You don't need to read music to get started. You can have a quick win today and actually enjoy learning the piano the entire time. That's why this method works. You're not just juggling a million things at once, you're playing real music fast. If you want to get started learning piano with chords, just comment practice planner below. I'll send you my free resource that walks you through exactly how to begin playing this way, step by step. In this method that I teach my students, we don't stop at just playing chords. We start layering in improvisation, little flourishes, broken patterns, and rhythms to make it feel creative and expressive. So instead of just playing with music, you're creating music. Let me show you an example of what that sounds like using the same chords. And because we layer these skills slowly, your coordination grows without ever feeling like you're drowning. Then and only then do we start adding melody reading. But we don't do it with overwhelming classical sheet music. We use something called a lead sheet. In a lead sheet, your left hand plays the chords you already know, and your right hand plays the melody line. You don't have to read every note on the page. You don't have to follow complicated arrangements. Here's what that looks like with The Scientist by Coldplay. Now compare that to this, the same song in traditional sheet music format. It's denser, it's harder to read, and it's going to take you weeks longer to learn. It's not impossible, but it's the exact thing that causes adults to quit. Traditional lessons start you off learning how to read music before you know how to play music. It's kind of like trying to read a novel in Spanish before you've ever spoken a sentence out loud. Sure, it can work eventually, but it's going to be slow, frustrating, and most people quit before they ever get fluent. But what if you started speaking Spanish first, practicing conversation, hearing yourself succeed, and building confidence, and then started reading and writing? That's what this is. We start with sound, with rhythm, with expression. We start by making music, not reading it. And then we add note reading and theory later once you're already feeling confident and connected to the instrument. You play first. That's what creates momentum. And look, this isn't just a theory. I've taught thousands of adults over the years through my music school and my online program, the Piano Accelerator. Many of them thought it was too late. Like Nick, who picked up piano totally from scratch during retirement, and this is him playing after just a few months. Or Kirk, who finally got to sit down at the piano and play Frank Sinatra in his living room, something he dreamed about for decades. And he started completely in retirement. You might still be thinking, but I'm not musically talented, I never played as a kid, I'm too old to learn something new, and I get that. But the truth is, being musically talented isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. I've taught students in their 20s and students in their 90s. You don't need a special talent. You don't need perfect timing. You just need the right method and a little consistency. So imagine this. You finish work, you pour a glass of wine or tea, you sit down at the piano and start playing a song you actually like. No pressure, no stress, no perfectionism. Just music, joy, flow. And that's what I help my students create every day. The truth is, this moment right now is the perfect time to begin. You're more focused, you know what you want, and unlike when you were a kid, you actually care about the music you're playing. You don't need to wait for the perfect time, you don't need permission, and you don't need to catch up, because your journey gets to look different and better. This isn't about becoming a concert pianist, it's about creating something for you, something joyful, creative, and grounding. So if that little voice is still wondering, is it too late? Let this be your sign, it's not even close. And if you're ready to take the first step, Download my free piano practice planner that will help you play your first song in just 7 days and develop a consistent practice routine. Inside, I'll show you the exact chords to begin with and help you build momentum just from the start. Just comment practice planner below. And if you'd like additional help on playing your first chords, I recommend checking out this video. It will pair nicely with your free piano practice planner guide. And if this video helped you, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.